All right, we are live. Hey, everybody, we are back here on my channel, of course. I'm Allegra Jackson, the marketing medulla, and I'm here with Dr. Al Claussen, who has been my personal fitness trainer for probably the last year, if I think about it. Just going through a lot of the programs, beta testing, seeing how these things work for my body. And I promise you, being over 40, you have to be able to work yourself more than you did before. Just saying by experience. But Dr. Al has helped me so I want him to introduce what he's doing. So I want you guys to, number one, tune in, okay, and share this live. Number two, you can hashtag replay if you're listening on the replay. That way I know that you watched the live. Also, I want you to, listen and ask questions as well. Dr. Al is going to be talking about how moms can really get over these pain points that they have with time, weight gain, just some preventative measures when it comes down to things that, sometimes we need to pay attention to. Our bodies are important as women, especially as women entrepreneurs. So if you are a mompreneur, or if you're just a woman out there ready to get yourself fit, Dr. Al is going to provide the necessary tools for you. Dr. Al, go ahead and give it over to you to introduce yourself, and we'll get into the questions.
Well, good. Thank you very much, Allegra. It's a pleasure to be with you once again, and welcome everybody that's tuned in. It's great to have the opportunity to occupy your time for the next 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how well this goes. My name is Al Claussen, otherwise known as Dr. Al. I'm a doctor of pharmacy, a personal fitness trainer, a self-defense instructor, and an author. I've actually written a book entitled Safe Weight Training for Everyone that is a collection of basic exercises that one can do in the gym. But that isn't necessarily all that we have. I actually have, especially for the new moms, I have a deck of cards fitness challenge, which is an interesting way to get your workout in. Basically, you have, if you have a deck of cards, or if you have a deck of cards app on your phone, you're all set. All you need is just a little bit of space and some time and a little bit of time to do it, which is perfect for the new mothers out there, who don't necessarily have a lot of time and probably don't have a lot of patience either. So it's something that is actually very handy for that, for the new mother. And also, soon to come, I'm actually putting together a hip wellness program, which can actually benefit not just new mothers, but older mothers and older fathers and younger fathers and just people in general. A lot of problems that you have with your lower back and your legs and some types of chronic pain can actually just be traced to problems with your hips. So what we are doing with that is we're taking the four components: activation of your hip muscles, mobilization of your hip muscles, and increasing flexibility. And we actually have a, a routine for myofascial release, or which is another scientific name for just rolling or self-massage. So I have quite a few things coming for well, I have things ready for the new mother right now, but I also have quite an exciting new thing coming for not just new mothers, but everyone in general. So excited to be able to bring those to you, and I'm actually looking forward to having the opportunity to work with you in the near future. So with that, I'll turn the mic back to my good friend Allegra.
Thank you, Dr. Al. And I love the talk because I've been in your programs, beta testing, seeing, and I can tell y'all from experience, Dr. Al is really a teacher. So, you're going to learn a lot and you're going to understand exactly why you're doing what you do, right? And I think that's really speaks to the preventative measure, right? Because you work in a lot of areas of medicine and you're talking about being safe. Can see your book, Safe Weight Training. I do want to also say this too, for moms who were like, the one thing you told me was the time. And I asked you, I said, do you think that mom guilt is a huge component of that? Because if you don't have a lot of time, because you have to be a full-time mom and also have a career and maybe a business too, right? And maybe you're somebody's wife too. When you
Yep.
are that woman, I said that mom guilt can be a component when you feel like you don't have a lot of time. And I want you to speak to that because I think that there is a solution.
Oh yes, yes, there definitely is. And it's not necessarily just entirely mom guilt too. It could be just a lack, just feel the sensation of feeling overwhelmed, from everything. And sometimes when you get into that kind of mode, for lack of a better term, you tend to shut down emotionally and physically as well. And oftentimes, it's just a matter of if you're new to fitness, not knowing what to do, not or not what not knowing how to start, not knowing what to do, who you can ask for reliable information. So there is that as well. So yeah, but basically, a good program and just getting you set, as far as good habits, as far as the mental aspect of it. Once it becomes habitual, then the physical aspect takes over, where you feel like, oh no, I haven't gotten my training in today. I haven't gotten my exercise in today. That's just it's something that's missing from your day, and you feel almost obligated, and almost, and I don't even obligated might even be a weak term for that. Compelled would probably be a better term to use. You feel compelled to get your training in. So it's just a matter of establishing good habits and just learning to breathe. When oftentimes you feel overwhelmed or you feel stressed, uh, or you feel guilty, it's just a matter of breathing and putting one foot in front of the other and then just getting to it. So it's something I help people do, just to help those, just accomplish these little victories. You gain confidence through demonstrated ability, and I help you gain confidence by doing that, by just taking things one thing at a time. If you've Allegra, as you can attest to with the times that I've trained I try to just keep things in a stepwise fashion. Just try to build upon your victories, so to speak, and then create new challenges and achieve new victories. And and I'm sorry, the awkward pause there. I'll pass the mic back to you, Allegra.
It's okay. So, yeah, thank you so much for that, Dr. Al. And I do love the way you teach and train because it is like a combo. So, for those moms who have felt that mom guilt around time, there are solutions that you can work through that will kind of allow you to work around your time, work around your situations, right?
Hmm.
And I love how you said breathing because that's one thing that you taught me a lot in our trainings. You were like, I want you to breathe like this. And it actually made a difference because sometimes you're doing a little too much. Okay. So Dr.
Hmm.
Al simplifies that. So let's talk about, moms who may need to have more support when it comes to their birthing their child. Maybe it's the first baby and maybe they've gained weight they never had before.
Hmm.
Or maybe they've, having another child and now they have to go through another weight gain and they have to now work the weight off. How do you deal with those type of situations, mothers who are just having a baby and now they're like, okay, I gotta get my sexy back. Like what
There
kind
you
of
go.
solution do you have for them?
Well, the approach is basically the same, although there are physiologic changes that happen with pregnancy, and they don't necessarily go away postpartum or after giving birth. It does take some time for your body to get back to normal from pregnancy. So I keep all those considerations in mind when I design something for a client. It's something that, yeah, the approach is the same. As far as the achieving, small victories, just taking things slowly, and I'd probably even go a little bit more slowly uh, with the. And again, I can't say that I do this each and every time because every person is different. These are the considerations that one has to keep in mind when we're training somebody. Every person is different. Every man, woman, child is different, both from a physical standpoint and from a psychologic and emotional standpoint. And you have to sometimes it's a little bit of a game for me as a trainer to see, okay, how do I get this person to respond? How do I get this person to have that aha moment or the epiphany? Yeah, and a lot of what I do, as you are well aware, is I tend to teach people while I'm training them. I like to explain why they're doing something, why they're lifting in a certain angle, why they are breathing in a certain manner, because it all has a purpose. And sometimes it doesn't seem evident right up front, but it can actually, it actually comes back to that. You get to that, aha, I know, now I understand why we're going there. So the process is basically the same with pregnancy, but we just have to be a little bit different, a little bit more careful, because there are some things that physiologically in women, as a result of pregnancy and postpartum, that we have to be careful with. But it's something that, yeah, the process is the same, and it's something that you can. I try to build enthusiasm with all of these things that I do, with the instruction, with the breathing, with the demonstrated ability. These things tend to accumulate and become additive and build to your emotional strength as well as your physical strength.
Yeah, I like how you put in all of it, because sometimes I hear a lot of doctors don't really consider the emotional state of the patient. So it's good that you're talking about things like the postpartum depression, because that is real. I've watched two people in my life go through that, and that is, it's different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I love how you customize these workouts. Now, you said there was
And
another thing. Go ahead.
and also, if I can interject real quick, just part of my background, again, I'm a doctor of pharmacy, and that's something I will tend to focus on as well, as far as uh, just these type of things that we actually look at, as far as uh, how's your psyche going? How are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling upstairs? Not only physically, but mentally. And I'll oftentimes, if when the situation calls for it, I will actually, ask about your medicines and your supplements and vitamins and whatnot, just to make sure that everything is working okay for you. And also, I'll check for things. Again, it's the doctrine of pharmacy coming out of me, but are we missing something that you might need treatment for? Whether it be from a non-pharmacologic standpoint or from a medication-related standpoint. So these are the type of things that I won't necessarily have somebody fill out the form per se, but it's something that, just as part of the process of my training you, it actually happens to come out that way, where, okay, yes, perhaps maybe we need to treat something medically and not just from a personal training standpoint. So I kind of help my clients navigate the turbulent waters for that as well. Okay, sorry about
Yeah.
that. I just had to put that in.
It's okay. It's okay. You can go ahead and express what you want people to know, because the truth is, you do a twofer where people can get their fitness needs taken care of, as well as get their medical needs taken care of on some stature, right? It's not everything, but I've come to you for things where I probably would have to pay a lot of money at the hospital, okay? And so there is such a huge benefit to have that knowledge behind the table. I do want to just kind of show everybody too, because well, first of all, shout out to Pop Up and Create. Okay, shameless plug, because corporate sponsor for Win. Dr. Al is one of our board members, and so we love our corporate sponsors, and we just wanted to shout her out. But I want to also just say, Dr. Al, with this ball, you showed me something that I still use even when I'm not working out. So y'all know how your body starts to get very tense and you start to lock up. And something my mother said recently, I resented her for. And she was like, when you get over 40, that's when that arthritis kicks in. I was like, first of all, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. Like, you are not going to speak that here, okay? But
Yeah.
but I will say that this helps me on my, my warm-ups and warm downs, when my body is
Mm-hmm.
tense in the mornings, when in the middle of the day where I just feel like, okay, I'm a little locked up. I can take this ball, y'all. This is what Dr. Al told me. He taught me this in my workout sessions. And this is something that you get with value when you know, pay to play, baby. Because when you get into a space where someone's guiding you through a process, you get to customize it, right? And so Dr. Al knows I'll be locking up. So this ball, you can put it on your shoulder and you can press it, right? And it freaking works. Your whole muscle just starts to melt. And the more pressure you put on it, the more your muscle melts. You can roll it around. And then what you really got me with was laying on a firm surface on top of it and rolling it on your back. I was like, okay, I'm done. So, can you tell us about your programs a little bit and why you incorporate things like this?
Well, I I incorporate that because, like you say, it freaking works. But not just for warm up, but for cool down. It's actually one of these things that, through the years, medicine has gotten better, and with science has gotten better, and the sports related science has gotten better, and human performance science has gotten better. And that's just one of the things that, yes, there's actually solid research out there now that's talking about, and what we call this, what you're doing with your neck right now is called myofascial release. The principle is similar, or it's the same principle when you're foam rolling, and you're doing the same exact thing. You can use a foam roller or a ball, different sizes and shapes of balls. I like the lacrosse ball because it is fairly firm, and you can actually get some very deep penetration when you need to, as far as to the affected areas. But to make a long story short, we do it because it works, and because there's hard scientific evidence that backs it up. And when I described the hip wellness program previously, that will be a huge component of the hip wellness program as well, to make you feel like a new man or a new woman. So, but yes, there is science behind everything that we do, as far as when I train you. So that in a nutshell is what we do with that little ball. It's much more easier to carry around than a foam roller. Uh, you can use a tennis ball. You could, theoretically, you could use a bowling ball, but I don't think most people were going to want to carry around a bowling ball to do their myofascial release. But that type of thing, and again, it's a self massage, and that's all that we're talking about. And then we incorporate the breathing techniques with that, and you just get a whole lot of bang for the buck with it. You mentioned that you use it for yourself, Allegra. One of the technicians I worked with in one of the pharmacies, she was having a sore back right behind her shoulder. So I went out to my car. I got my little lacrosse ball, and I showed her the technique, and she said, "Whoa, this is good." Well, first of all, she was just surprised that I would actually have something like that with me. But the very next time I worked with her, the next shift I worked with her, she was telling the other techs about it. That Dr. Al showed me this trick that really works. So, yeah, it's something that's backed up by science, and that's first and foremost what I like to make sure that we have scientific validation. Uh, a lot of people will say, "Well, it's my personal experience," and sometimes personal experience is what you have to rely on. But when things go wrong, people kind of kick the personal experience underneath the carpet so it can't be seen, and that's why I like to have the scientific validation behind it. Just so it's actually been studied in a clinical setting, in a professional setting, to see whether or not, yes, this actually works. And there's hard evidence that this works. So yeah, that is the method behind my madness, but it's not really a madness at all. It's just something that, knowing the science behind it and knowing when and where to apply it, and that's just something that I do with everybody that I coach, and that I teach, and coaching and teaching are one and the same for me.
And I know you're giving discounts for moms in May. So they do have to reach out and just schedule that assessment, y'all. Like, get with Dr. Al. The link is already down there. And we also put it in the comments, but we'll put it in all of the chats on all the channels after this. But when you schedule that assessment, Dr. Al really does care. That's one thing I will say. So I do commend you for, what you do, because a lot of people don't do that anymore. I will also say too, can
Well,
you explain why uh-huh.
well, it's essential. You can't be a good practitioner, and I'm first and foremost, I'm a healthcare practitioner. Um, and if you if you have any kind of professional ethics at all, you have to care. I mean, you can't just treat somebody like a number, because you get back what you give. If you're not giving your all to a person, you're not going to necessarily get that commitment back. If people can see that, and it's not just in medicine, not just in personal training. It's when business coaching or whatever it might be, if you give that effort to your client and to your patient, you're going to get that back. So it's very important. So yeah, you just have to. I mean, it's just it's part of what you do. If you have any kind of professional ethics, and if you have a soul in general,
That's
you have to be passionate and you have to care about what you're doing for your clients.
okay. Well, thank you for stating that. I know that your care comes through every time. I will say this too, because for everyone who's watching, I'm sure they're going to want to know how your programs work. Because one of the things that we're talking about is time, right? And moms are like, okay, I don't have a lot of time, and I'm not sure if this will work for me. How do you deal with people who are very limited on time?
Oh, well, I will. Well, it'll be part of the interview process, as far as what facilities do they have available. Are they able to go to a facility? Would they rather work out at home? And a lot of it's just figuring out what they like to do. If you like doing a physical activity, you're going to have a lot more probability of actually adhering to it. If you like going outside and walking as opposed to lifting heavy weights, yeah, we're gonna take advantage of that, and we'll also throw in some things as well to make it a little bit more fun. Uh, I actually, and this is one of the things that I actually employ when I'm designing a lot of fitness programs for people that are really serious about it, or for people that are just beginning. I use a concept called map dysregulation, which basically takes advantage of the principle, or it addresses the principle of what happens when you do the same thing over and over again. Your mind gets used to it, and your body gets used to it, and you don't see the results from the same program that you've been doing. So I use a principle that changes it up every time. So you very, very rarely ever do the same workout twice. Although it might seem like we're doing some things for you that are just tedious and the same. They're not. Everything is different every single time, and that's by design. So I take people on a magic carpet ride, if you will, or an adventure, as far as and again, you'll get that epiphany, when you get that aha moment, as far as, oh, this is why we're doing this. And it's very, for me, from a trainer standpoint, and from the standpoint of a teacher, it's fun when people understand, when they understand why they're doing something, and when they're actually beaming and glowing from it. That's a reward for me in and of itself. Granted, I'm going to charge you for it because that's what I do, but I get much more back than just the financial piece of it, the money. I get incredible amount of satisfaction from just improving a person's mental health, physical health, just one person at a time. And that's why basically I do what I do, whether it be as a doctor of pharmacy, as a personal fitness trainer, as a self-defense instructor. You achieve that demonstrated ability, and and then you help people see that they've achieved something, and when they have that understanding, and when they that they've achieved something, that's a very satisfying feeling. So the very roundabout way of answering your question as far as what do I do for people. But I take everything is different, and it's just based on the situation, whether a person wants to work out at home, whether they want to work out at a gym, or whatever it might be, or another setting. I basically tailor it to a person's needs, and what they want and what they are able to do, and also what's going to keep it fun for them.
Yes. Okay, so that did answer my question. Also, just talking about, the time, you know, confines mom and guilty about, like, oh my God, I don't have enough time. Being able to get a customized workout approach to their lifestyle, I think, is fabulous. So that's really
Mhm.
what I heard from you, if I heard that correctly, is that they,
You
and this is
did.
what I've heard too, where some people don't like working in the gym. Some people don't like working outside the gym. So being able to really understand how your body works, and also be able to be guided by, an instructor, teacher, someone who understands the body, and also preventative measures, because we work out and we injure ourselves. Like I told y'all about my injuries, Dr. Al
Mhm.
had to save me a couple times. So I think it's really important for us to have that guidance. So last thing, Dr. Al, because we're going to have you, of course, tell them how to reach out to you, and things like that. But one of the things that I understand about moms, outside of money, outside of the weight gain, it was one other thing that you mentioned, and it was lack of motivation.
Mhm.
I want you to talk about that, because when you have a lot of energy being dispersed every day to take care of your kid or your kids and anyone else that you have in your life, how do moms stay motivated to want to work out? What
Well,
does that look like?
it, it can be, and again, to not sound like a broken record, it's going to be different for everyone. However, there are some things that I like to do to coax it along. I as part of the interview process, and taking somebody in, I'll find out, okay, why do you want to do this? And I'll have them ask, I'll, of course, I'll be a little bit more delicate when I ask it, but uh, what's your main reason for coming to me? And not just necessarily one main reason. Are there multiple reasons why you want to get in shape, or you want to exercise, that type of thing? And then I'll ask what is limiting you right now, and what has limited you in the past? Because in order to understand something, you have to understand, why something failed, and you have to be able to address it so it doesn't fail from the get-go. Also, you're going to want to understand their situation. Their financial situation is going to be important as well. Uh, Not only do they might want to go to a gym, but they just can't afford it right now. And with the economy the way it is now, that's probably going to surface at some point for people. I think things are too early to tell right now, and I'm not necessarily a prognosticator or a forecaster of such things, but I do pay attention, because these are things that may come up. And part of what I do as a clinician, as a clinical pharmacist, doctor of pharmacy, I look for potential problems that might trip things up. So a lot of it is just finding out, what has worked in the past, what has not worked in the past, and a lot of it, what do they like? What is fun and what is not fun? So again, it comes back to, if you're able to make it fun for somebody, and you build that excitement so they look forward to it, there's a lot of the battle right there is won. Uh, for those of you that are been athletic, and it's not necessarily those of you who've been athletic, but for some of you that you didn't think that you could do something physically, but your mind said, yes, I can, one more time then it said, no, I can't. That can actually be the difference. On the flip side of that, if you're feeling strong one day and then, but your mind's not in it, and if your mind says, well, not today, more than one more time it says yes today, that can factor in as well. So it's a matter of just helping people achieve that get that enjoyment, make it fun. And if things don't go well, yeah, not every time, and it's something you brought up earlier, as far as, you're not always going to be able to train, and sometimes it's going to be due to injury. And that's another thing I focus on as well, is how do we keep somebody going so that they don't miss their training, for example, due to injury. So, and there are things I like to employ as well that kind of help address that, but yet keep people progressing through what they want to achieve as far as their fitness goals. So that's my answer as far as how I address
Awesome.
that. But again, there's the fun factor as well. You
Awesome.
can make
Okay,
it
well,
fun.
moms,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Back to you.
okay, awesome. No, it's okay. I think we have a delay too. Not sure if we do, but we're at the end of the session anyway, guys. So I wanted Dr. Al to share his advice, tips, structure on his programs, how he guides you through that process. Even if you feel lost and you don't know what to do, he has all the answers for you. So just take the action step, schedule the assessment call so he can guide you through it. Also, just as a witness to the effects of the program, like I love the fluidity of it, right? Like you can work out anywhere you are, whether you're on vacation, wherever you are in the world. You can create a routine for yourself that actually is fit for you and your body and your lifestyle and the time that you have. So I think that this is amazing that people get to have this, along with the fact that you provide preventative tips and measures, including things that are in the medical field as well. I want you, Dr. Al, to tell people what you would like them to do next, because I know you have a hip wellness program coming out. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
you did mention the MAP regulation program. So I would love for you to elaborate on that a little bit so people can know how to join you today. And then we'll end with final words.
Okay. Well, as far as the thing that I want people to do is just go to the bottom of the screen there, look at the www.dracpreventativegroup.com and schedule up an appointment for an assessment. So this is something that, yes, there are things in that assessment that help me get to know you better, and perhaps even help you get to know yourself better, so that we can actually come up with a plan as far as achieving your goals. And they might be goals that you don't even know that you have yet. So it's as much as of a self-discovery as a discovery for me, as far as what makes you tick, what might help me to design something that's going to give you the most bang for the buck. Again, as Allegra has said, I do have things in place already. I do have the book, the Strength Training for Everyone, which is a collection of basic exercises, and that is it's a comprehensive but not necessarily exhaustive list of things that you can do in a gym. As far as if you ever wondered, if you or wondered as far as what exercise would benefit my legs, what would benefit my forearms, one would benefit my back or chest. Uh, Chances are better than average that there's something in that book that might be applicable to you. There's something that you might like. And again, I've tried to include, again, a very comprehensive list of things that most gyms have. But again, not necessarily every gym's going to have them, but you can at least get a good idea of some examples of what you can try at the gym. But let's get back to the age-old question, well, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't like going to the gym. Gyms intimidate me, or I don't like the egos in gyms, whatever it might be. I have things at home that you can do. I actually have taken the concept of the exercise challenge and I've somewhat turned it on its side a little bit, where I actually make it challenging in the fact, an adventure in the fact that you don't know what's coming. But again, as far as we'll actually, it's a deck of cards challenge where we'll have various programs, whether it be for strength training, whether it be for lower body mobility, whether it be for building your lower body or building your core. There are exercise challenges that actually address all of those, and they come in both or they in three stages, both beginner, intermediate, and advanced challenges. So there's a lot of variety there. And again, I try to keep it simple, but I try to keep it fun as well. So it's part of that as well. Then we get to the Baptist regulation, and that's where we're actually going really deep into what your goals are, and we're actually going to, then this is where the customized piece of it comes in. We're going to build a program that actually is going to give you the most benefit, the most bang for the buck, if you will. And again, we keep it fun. Again, we just keep it something enjoyable, and we do that by shaking it up every time. So every workout is going to be different every time out. And then by the time you come back to that same workout that you did previously, you're going to be using more resistance, or you're going to be able to do more repetitions of an exercise, and that's where that light will come on, that aha moment or the epiphany, where that's what he was getting at when he designed this. So again, and I build this just based on what you actually want to achieve, whether it be for athletic performance, whether it be for strength, whether it be for weight loss, whether it be for whatever. There's something in there that I can build customized for you. So it's a novel little thing that I've I don't know if it's a blessing, curse, or if it's both, but these are the things that I've always, they always go through my mind as far as, okay, how can we shake this up and how can we make it a little bit better? And these are the kind of things that I think about when designing something for myself and designing things for others. And then finally, the hip wellness program, which we've plugged a couple of times. Again, I think this is going to be a game changer for a lot of people. This is something that, again, a lot of problems with a lot of lower body pain and sometimes pain in your back. They can oftentimes be traced to your hips, and if your hips aren't working properly, that can actually be a factor in that. So how do we make them work properly? We actually focus on activating the muscles that you may not know need activating. So everything balances out. You may not know that you need to increase your mobility or your ability to move your body through a particular range of motion. You might not have the flexibility, which is different from mobility, is that you might not be able to uh, stretch your body in a certain manner. And again, we're going to throw that piece that we talked about a little while ago with Allegra, the myofascial release, the self massage, which helps all those other three components work a little bit better. So I'm really excited. We're in the testing phases of it right now, and I think the results are promising thus far. Just from what there's hiccups as far as the design of it and making it presentable to the public, but once it is out there, I think this is going to make a lot of people feel good. So that's basically what you can do, as far as getting in touch with me, and just getting on the website, and you can inquire about all of these things. And again, we can just schedule up an assessment for you, and we'll see what magical carpet ride we can go on.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. I appreciate that. And also, for everyone who right now is looking at this hip wellness program as an option, because you named some things that I think people that may experience, a lot of hip injury or sciatica, or, things to their body that they're not really sure what to do, whether do I go through a program, do I get surgery? When should they expect to actually see the hip wellness program available for them? We want to get them, geared up to expect when to, and also we'll give everyone an opportunity. I'll post Dr. Al's website and subscription so that you guys can get on the list. So in the meantime, while while you guys are thinking and contemplating on if the hip wellness program is right for you, you can get all the updates and all the great things that Dr. Al is doing behind the scenes. When is this going to launch for these people who are waiting for it?
We are tentatively looking at a launch of August 2025. So we're a few months away yet, but we're steadily working on it right now to see. We're discovering some things that aren't working out, and we're discovering some things that are definitely working out. So we're just gonna put all that together, and we're gonna put it out in the package that's gonna benefit them people the most. So we're tentatively looking at an August 2025 launch date. So do keep your eyes on the website for that. And if you follow me on Facebook, Dr. AC Preventative Group or Dr. Al Claussen, you can you'll see periodic updates as far as that goes as well. And I'm also on Instagram as well, but the Facebook groups are probably the main place to watch for that, as well as the Dr. AC Preventative Group website. So that I hope that I piqued everyone's interest there. I think I have something that, especially for the moms, and whether they be new moms or whether they be moms for a while, I think I have something that can actually benefit you and get you going get you ready for summer.
Yes, I agree. I think this is amazing. And even if you guys are thinking about joining the Hip Wellness Program, you can start now in the month of May as a mom and get your discount. So Dr. Al can go ahead and lock you in. And I only say that because this is something that's so important, and so many people need to be able to have resources so that they don't feel like I've seen people feel trapped in having to go to the doctor and get the surgery. And there's ways that you guys can work out and create that lifestyle so that you don't get injured and hurt yourself or get old like me and your bones and stuff start hurting. So anyway, Dr. Al, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad that you were able to give us some guidance and support. And also for the moms out there, thank you for all you do, because I believe in you, honey. And for all the things that we talked about, from the weight gain and mom guilt and time not having enough, and just being able to, needing that motivation. Guys, be in communities that keep you motivated. The Dr. Al has created the DRAC Preventative Group. He has a Facebook group here on Facebook, and also you can find him on LinkedIn and YouTube as you guys are looking. And make sure that you connect, because being in a community full of support and people who are thinking like that motivates you even more. And we just say stay connected. Thank you again, Dr. Al. We look
Thank you,
forward to having
Allegra,
you again.
and thank you very much for the opportunity to present myself. And thank you all, those of you who are watching live and those of you who are watching on the replay. Thank you for taking the time to let me inform you of the things that I can help you accomplish. And with that, I'll pass the mic back.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're getting out of here. You guys have a great night. We will see you again soon. Bye.